I start, by myself. I went to attend a lot of conference, in United Nation in 2015 about the 17 SDG and 169 goal. Try to spread, the idea that Africa should, change from passive consumer to active user, and we are not happy that Africa left behind. We need Africa, to do something by themselves, to instead of buy, aircraft, like civil aircraft or military aircraft. I'm happy today that Egypt can, manufacture drones or army manufacture, because Egypt is all thinking about, spread peace in Middle East, in Africa, and all the world, and should, have power or have military army, power army to protect the land, to protect the Middle East land, to protect our, African land. Let's say that about these drones, about a good specification like 1,800 kilometer range,
Yes.
5 kilometer. A lot of good. This will make artificial intelligence also is a key strength in this aircraft. Modern welfare, a lot of good specification for this aircraft that will help Egypt to be sell this craft in Middle East, in Africa, especially this craft introduced in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia conference. So I thought if Egypt succeeded, it will get found by themselves to African, to Arab country. It will help a lot, because unveiling this Hamza drones and manufacture these drones using artificial intelligence. As I said before, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, cloud computing. If we succeed, to lead in this technology, we can lead the world. So I hope that African people can go in this direction, to change from passive consumer to active user. That's why the Egyptian industry showcase the innovation and manufacture in this new technology, and I thought that all African can go to this direction to
All right,
manufacture, to instead of buying, can go to selling, and so we can get a lot of budget, and with money will help in an economy problem, in all problems in Africa and all the world. Thank you so much
right,
for this.
Well, I'm still going to stay with you, Dr. Hamid, because I understand you are a major player with the UN when it comes to peacekeeping and all of that. Looking at the recent development from your country on the part of these drones, and of course using the AI technology to making sure that security on the aerial level is clearly being mitigated to the barest minimum. Do you think at this point AI integration and of course top-notch technologies should be integrated into schools all across Africa, so that we can find a model that is better for Africans and not just the European models that is being introduced to Africans?
Let me first say, we wanted to differentiate about the countries who adopting new technology like artificial intelligence. If we see that we have 15 countries adopting this new technology, in front of this country, United Arab Emirates, then Singapore, then Ireland, and we see Qatar also in the 15 countries that adopting new technology. But we need to concentrate, instead of adopting new technology, we need to concentrate about how to build this new technology, how to build artificial intelligence, how we are going to be, excellent in coding like Python or the different language of artificial intelligence. So if we need to succeed in this field, we need, to make it early for the youth, for the schools like under 14 and under 16, they have to know about artificial intelligence, about the technology of the 21st century, cloud computing, Internet of Things, blockchain, all this new technology. We have all the young the young children, the Z age, can know about this new technology. This is the one who can innovate. This is the one who can make process in this new technology. But we have to, to put eyes on him, that to use it in a peace, not to use it in a war, to use it to do something good for people, for the society, for the African, for all the world, not to do something bad, for the society, for schools, for Arab, for African, for all the world.
All right,
So I agree with you. We have to, to study this new technology in schools, in faculty, in college, for the employment, for all the society have to know about this new technology.
All right, then let me take this conversation to Uganda, where Dr. Joseph is standing by. Well, Doctor, you are one who interfaces with young people majorly across Africa, and of course, I dare say, even across the world. Now, looking at the part of integrating artificial intelligence into curbing insecurity across Africa, well, Dr. Hamid in Egypt has clearly said we should become a producing nation and a producing continent, but the concerns are being raised about the fundings and, of course, the models at which we will be producing. What do you think can be done by African leaders to be able to integrate artificial intelligence, including drone, when it comes to insecurity all across Africa, to fight most of our internal wars that we uncover these days?
Okay, thank you very much, David. Thank you so much, my brother, Dr. Sam from Egypt. And I would like to congratulate Doctor, the Egyptian government, and the people of Egypt.
Thank you, sir.
For the new innovation that they have launched, especially in the area of military science. The drone, I'm told, looks world class compared to the ones that we normally buy from. David, you must realize that recently I wrote an open letter to all African heads of state. I hope you remember that one very well.
Yes, definitely.
You need to share one with the doctor from Egypt. He needs to read it. He may be able to pick something that is good for Egyptian government. Now, based on what doctor is saying, first of all, besides the importation of military equipment that Africa normally does, most of the items we consume in Africa, we import them from the Western world. All the machineries we use, all the cars, everything, medical equipment, education, laptops, everything, we import from the global north and we bring them to Africa and then the global south. Now, the question that arises is that what is Africa lacking? And what is the global north having that we don't have? The issue is that we need to rethink, we need to redirect the way we think, the way we do our things, strategic direction for our continent, so that we stop importing most of the things that we import right now from the global north. We should be able to manufacture the cars here, medical equipment, military equipment, agricultural equipment, all those, and we should be able to manufacture. And when you're talking about the youth, I'm happy that the doctor was saying that young people under 14, actually from the age of 5, the children into innovations, into research, and the research and the education that we are doing. Because I normally ask friends, the major purpose of education is only one: to solve problems in the society. We get the knowledge, the skills, the values, the attitudes, and all those in order for us to solve the problems in the society. Egypt is a desert. There is no rain. But the Egyptians are they even supply Uganda with the fruits. Some of the juice we take from Uganda comes from Egypt. And then the water that is feeding Egypt comes from Uganda. So we should be the ones taking the fruits to Egypt. But Egypt, with the scarce water that they have, the little water that they get from Uganda, from the Nile, they are able to manufacture things that they bring to Uganda and to the rest of the world. So the way forward for African governments, African heads of state, we need to innovate, we need to research, we need to provide solutions for our own problems. Because imagine most of the wars, I know that among the items that you listed, that we are going to discuss. I think only the Egyptian one is the one which can make one smile. All the other stories, killings in the Congo, Burkina Faso, war, where. And we buy all these equipment from the global north, Western world, for killing our mothers, killing our sisters, killing our parents, This is not good for Africa.
All right, then. Well, thank you so very much, Dr. Joseph, for that submission. Let me bring it to the studio here, Mr. Fanimo. This, again, is something that I know within your forte as a reporter, you've covered. I'm talking about security in Nigeria. Looking at the fact that there's a major development from Egypt about the introduction of these drones, which, again, is a top-notch technology that the Egyptian government carefully integrated into their system. How much of this level of technology should African leaders start looking into? And then how can we mitigate the insecurity and insurgencies that we found ourselves with a model that is best for Africa?
You see, Africa cannot play in isolation of the rest of the world in terms of peace and security.
Right.
But the input of Africa as a whole to peace and security in the world is so minute. And it is high time we began to look inwards and look at what is best for us. You don't sit by and allow your assailant to keep improving by the day and innovatively discover new grounds. One day, he will come and overwhelm you. Since the 60s, we established in Nigeria Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria. That particular investment was to do most of these things that we talk about as innovation in Egypt.
Right.
But over the years, like every other part of the African continent, leadership that are bereft of vision, that are so myopic in their thinking, would rather not touch such, to the extent that we grow other people's economy with our God-given mineral resources. They turn it to sophisticated innovations and then bring it back to us. As low as chocolate, as low as uranium, which is supposed to be used for warheads. We have it in abundance in Africa. In our backyard in Nigeria, in the Adamawa axis, you have uranium. It's one of the major components of warheads.
So, from your perspective, this is a leadership problem, basically.
It's a leadership problem. Anywhere you go in Africa, when you talk, when you engage in academics of history and all that, you still come back to the leadership problem. The Egyptian government did such milestones because at least there's some level of sanity in the polity in Egypt. But particularly the West African sub-region and possibly East Africa too, it is not the same thing at all.
Now, sorry to butt in here. Now, Dr. Hamid from Egypt did say that we should start thinking of moving away from just going to buy, just like you mentioned earlier, with our funds and, of course, our God-given mineral resources, to becoming a production continent. As it stands, Mr. Fanimo, is there the possibility that leadership across Africa, now not just Nigeria, would be thinking to that direction, just like we're seeing Egypt give a headway to this level of development?
Before you can think of sophisticated armament and innovations in military hardware and all that, you would have to some extent resolved some teething problems that these people, these nations, the Western nations, the Eastern Bloc, have overcome before now. Look, a missile is about $11 million. Convert that to any, particularly West African countries' annual budget. you can't, for instance, in Nigeria here, you can't manufacture 3 missiles in a year, and it will not deplete the whole entire budget and destabilize that. We have to go and borrow like we have not had any revenue.
So should we have a production ground that can couple and of course get to produce this missile?
You know one funny thing about all these things is behind the manufacturing of this military hardware and software,
yes,
and the drones and all that are Africans.
Oh dear. Because of time, really, let me go back to Egypt. Dr. Hamid, I don't know if you're still with us. Mr. Dele Fanimo here in Nigeria has said very significant statement, I beg your pardon, which is quite one part that I want to come to you from. The intelligence of Africans being at the helms of the affairs of where these equipments are being done is on one part, brain drain. You spoke earlier and you said if we can try to inculcate this level of technology in our primary schools from the age of 14 thereabout, it might just go a long way. What do you think can be done on the part of Africans, young Africans, to start getting more involved, even though her leadership is not seeing it as a major situation in their hands? Dr. Hamid.
Thank you for your intelligent question. I think that we have first to look at the materials that these children study in the schools. We have to change this material to can compete with to change from developing country to developed country. To change the concept from buying aircraft to selling aircraft, to buying product to selling product. We have to change the material. We have to put all this new technology like cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, Bluetooth change, tactile internet, all this materials. We have to make like education committee that select the best materials regarding this new technology, the best material that can compete with the developed country in this. Let me say that the country who lead in this new technology, like artificial intelligence, who leads the world. Look at China, look at USA, look at Europe country. Why they compete? Because they have this new technology, have artificial intelligence, have Internet of Things, we have experts. In Africa, we have a lot, of expert people, but unfortunately, they live in USA, they live in Europe, they live in developed country. Why don't we can contact this expert, African nationality? We can contact with the government from Egypt, from African, and make like alliance, Egypt and other country, because Egypt only before from 2023 to 26, and we can act as one person, and we can get benefit from the experts, people from Africans that lived in USA, lived in another country, in education, or that's why. If we wanted to compete with another country, we have like found we need money, we need expert people, we need all the things to know about this new technology, and start from schools, schools people, because people children in school can do something to innovate all the time. That's why we have to go to this direction, and I hope that Africa can change from passive consumer to active producer. That's the only solution, to solve economy problem, to make African in a developed country, not developing country. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be with you.
All right, then thank you so very much, Dr. Hamid. Now let me take this conversation to Uganda. Well, Dr. Joseph, as it stands, Dr. Hamid again did say let's move away from just being an ordinary consumer to an active producer. Interestingly, as it stands, Uganda's financial expert is warning that the economy stands to gain to some level of high prosperity when it comes to having this macroeconomic momentum increased in the country? First off, you would also recall that the parts where the Ugandan government is looking at having this crude oil pipeline as, of course, one of the single most consequential developments in the Ugandan modern economic history. What do you make of this story, Dr. Joseph? I don't know if Dr. Joseph is still there. Would like you to unmute your mic and chime in on the question I asked. Well, let me move away from that and get to another story, and of course bring it back to the studio. Well, interestingly, Mr. Fanimo, we understand that Ghana has taken back her nationals that were injured in that attack in Burkina Faso. I mean, traders who went doing business in Burkina Faso were lynched upon by terrorists, and 7 of them were killed. But as we speak, quite a number of them have been returned back home, evacuated, injured nationals of Ghana. What do you make of the fact that, as it stands, the Ghanaian government truly had to swiftly move in to get her nationals back, but on the part of bilateral trade relationship between Burkina Faso, which again is being powered and led by a junta leader, as against a president, a civilian president in Ghana. What do you make of that level of bilateral relationship, owing to the fact that people were killed, though killed by terrorists?
You see, I think what the Ghanaian government did was what any responsible government would do. You know, coming to the rescue of your nationals and evacuating them from trouble zone. But in terms of bilateral relations, you see, killings like this, if it's not targeted at nationals per se, they were just caught up in the line of fire. And so, it's not going to ruffle feathers as much. But especially now that Burkina Faso has opted out of ECOWAS.
Yes.
And so, the intensity of diplomatic face-off or otherwise will be determined by the rapprochement offered by the Burkinabes,
Right.
by the Burkina Faso government, and the willingness of Ghana to also absorb the injury, quote unquote, and then consider it as an unfortunate incident that was not planned against those nationals. And so it's not going to really ruffle much feathers in terms of bilateral relationship, because Ghana has shown some level of maturity without even making any statement that is injurious to the relationship.
I mean, there's been some level of communication between the president of Ghana and, of course,
and Burkina Faso. So I'm sure that with the level of maturity brought into it at this time, I don't think it will snowball into any diplomatic row. Now,
let's talk about the economic impact of this situation. As it stands, Ghana clearly is a dependent country when it comes to metal with Burkina Faso in terms of imports. Looking at these developments, some have said it's going to also disrupt transportation, which might see some high level of increase in that particular produce. Do you think this might have maybe a snippet of injury or injurious nature on the economy of Ghana when it comes to this conversation of trade?
Like I said, up till this moment, we have not seen any signal of face-off over this unfortunate incident. And the leadership of both countries, in spite of the fact that Burkina Faso has a military junta in place, has not shown that there could be a face-off and that there may be some level of soured trade relations that could result in blockages and face-off. But we are watching. We are also monitoring.
do you also share the sentiment that the Ghanaian government and the Burkina Faso government, as led by Ibrahim Traore, should hold more stronger security meeting in trying to have a safe path when it comes to trade between both countries and not allow the level of insurgency that has ravaged some part of Africa to disrupt business and trade as concerning these two countries? Because this is a sentiment that is being raised by many.
This is where the ECOWAS standing force would have played a major role if it was strong
really
and
strong.
You know, if it was strong, because there will be a kind of buffer zone through which the peacekeeping force would ensure that there is some relative safety along that route. But unfortunately, ECOWAS is decimated. Now, Burkina Faso belongs to the Sahel states. And so, where do they meet? One is coming with ECOWAS backing. Another one is coming from Sahel backing. Where do they meet? Burkinabes are ruled by the military. The Ghanaians are ruled by democratically elected government. And so it might be a tall order. But the only good news about it is the level of diplomatic maturity that had been displayed by the two countries will also lead into determining if some level of protection will be given to people that are involved in transborder trade.
Right.
And some level of protection is offered them so that they can do their business without let or hindrance.
Well, because of our time, really, this is where we have to draw anchor on the analysis segment of the African News. Big thank you to Mr. Daly.